Welcome back, everybody. Day 2 of week 5. Here we go. Except we didn't have day 1 of week 5. We had a different thing happen yesterday, which is perfect. We got that rescheduled. We will be back on track, and we didn't disrupt anything throughout the rest of the show. So we had an easy fix. But today we have the Whiskey Deke, Ryan and Leslie of the Bourbon Heart. Now, to clear up any confusion there might be, the Bourbon Heart is 2 people. I do believe you're husband and wife, yes?
Yes.
Okay. It is Jeff and Leslie. And so when you do address the Bourbon Heart, don't just come out and say dude or, man or whatever, because you could be talking to Leslie.
You are talking to me. Jeff doesn't message at all. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. That being said, Leslie, tell us a little bit about yourself and the Bourbon Heart and where it came from and what it's about.
Yeah, sure. So about a year ago, Jeff and I were out to dinner, and we had been really digging into the bourbon and the distilleries and the history behind everything. And we were sitting at dinner, and I'm like, wait, there's got to be other people like us. There's got to be other people that we could be friends with that are this deep into it. I think we should start an Instagram. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And we brainstormed over all of the different names and accounts and things like that. And we stuck with the Bourbon Heart because, well, we're a married couple and we love bourbon, but also it's like in the profile, it's the heads and tails or nothing, like the heart of the bourbon is where everything's at. So ever since that, it's kind of been a steamrolling event, like all of the people that we've met and the different bottles. I don't know if you can see behind me, what started as this little collection in our pool house is taken over our upstairs. So yeah, it just kind of gotten out of control. But I moved here. I married him and moved here from Atlanta. We live in Nashville. I don't know anybody here. It has been a really nice way for me to find my fit, even though it's not necessarily in my town. I found friends and hobbies, and it's insane the people that I've gotten to meet in person just over bourbon or whiskey in general. Yeah.
That is one of the best things about whiskey and the whiskey community is most everybody is just fantastic, and it is everybody looks forward to meeting somebody else in the whiskey community all the time, and it's lovely. And that's part of what the show is kind of introduce people to people that they may not know or follow or any of that stuff, and share that through this, and with a little bit of extra fun added on. And Ryan, you are a bit newer to the Instagram whiskey thing, but you've been dabbling in whiskey for a while. So let us know about you a little bit.
Yeah, I've been drinking whiskey basically since I've been an adult. Probably even before that. My dad was always a Johnny Walker guy and things like that. So I gravitated towards Scotch right away. But as far as seriously diving into whiskey, drinking neat, that sort of thing, probably just about the last 5 years or so. About the same time I discovered Lagavulin, honestly. Yeah, one day I was just aimlessly wandering the whiskey tribe, and some post about Wisconsin, and Germ messages me and says, hey, we got this like North Woods group. So yeah, I created an Instagram so I can follow Germ and a lot of the other folks in the community. Don't really post outside of today for this thing, but yeah, so I mean, we'll see if I get there, as I meet more people. And I'm like Jeff, I'm not very artistic or things like that, so we'll see if I get into that side of it. But yeah, I know you needed a 30 seconds, so here I am.
There you go, Joe. There's in the comments, Leslie, there is a ton of inside jokes. Most of the people watching.
I don't see that. Yeah, okay. I can't see the chat.
Okay. So I will highlight comments throughout the show. But yeah, if you're on your phone, it doesn't usually allow you to see the comments unless you go real small screen. But yeah, we have a pretty tight group of people that meet up on a regular basis. So there's a ton of inside jokes. So there will be some of that.
Y'all look like you have a really good time. I get jealous
do.
when I look at your meetups and how much fun y'all are having. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We travel around a lot for work and pleasure, and we were in Chicago not too long ago and drove up to Wisconsin just to hit this whiskey lounge that we like. Ira's is next to this little liquor store. And then I was a couple of weeks later, I saw that all of y'all went to that Wisconsin Whiskey Fest thing. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know that you were that close. I would have told y'all to come drink with us.
Yep. Yeah. Anytime you hit the Midwest, upper Midwest, so Chicago, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, just shoot a message out. I mean, there's a good chance that somebody will be available to meet. So
that would be a lot of fun.
And with that, introductions are in, and you guys have samples poured. So why don't you go ahead, start smelling and tasting sample number 1, and I'm going to run through a little bit of roll call, and we will get this show on the road. Smoked by Ash Joe, first one in, back to normal at 5:49. Joe, what are you doing? What are you doing? Whiskey Punkard, how you doing, Dan? Nice to see you. Whiskey Addict Mike. Oh, look at that. Sporting the Whiskey Punkard glass. Look at that.
That's my bestie.
Spicy Strawberry did stop in to say she is working. She was on a break and she can't stay, but she is missing us and loves us all. Whiskey Addict Mike.
This is
Nia. I'm sorry, what?
I said this is not bourbon.
Well, there you got you're eliminating a guess there. Yeah. Nia from My Rum Diary, she popped in here. Joe's Whiskey Den. Randall the Whiskey Shaman, same deal. He can't stay. He's shooting a podcast tonight. Good luck, Randall. Thanks for stopping by. Whiskey Franco's here. Yo, buddy. OG Bourbons is here. Caesar, how you doing, my guy? Patty is here. How you doing, Patty? And there we go. That's who we got in the roll call tonight. Hopefully a few others join in. I better get this stuff up. We're on sample number 1. And I missed that, but that's all right. We're not going to worry about that. So, what are you tasting, Leslie? What are you smelling? Anything good?
The smell is better than the taste, for sure.
Okay.
I'm not going to say too many tasting notes and offend because there's at the finish there's like this like it makes me want to like cough or clear my throat. Like there's like it's like itchiness right there.
Okay. The thing about tasting notes, they're yours. Doesn't matter, nobody can tell you they're right and nobody can tell you they're wrong. They're yours. It's what you taste.
I come up with some crazy stuff sometimes too. I mean, not like this is a lemon tangerine, no, nothing like that. But like I come up with some crazy stuff, and typically it's what I would want to eat with it more than like sweets or whatever. I usually think savory or like a meal I would want to have.
Okay.
Where my head goes. I'm not a big sweets person, but meat and potatoes. I'm always like, oh, I would like a steak with this, or I'd like fish with this.
We have some comments on my shirt. Everybody usually comments on whatever I'm wearing because I usually wear some wild shirts or something. This is brand new. I just got it today. My newest favorite band is the Band Namers. This is one of those inside jokes. So we got a picture of 4 of us, 4 of the meetup group at the last place we were at, and it turned out it looked exactly like an old school 90s punk rock album cover, and we ran with it. So we've got a band name. There's a couple songs listed on the album. We got, we now have merch, so it's pretty great.
That is cool. No, that's really cool.
Dan suggesting I hit you with some Band-Aid juice. I don't know what that means, Dan. Nia, backing up what I said.
Thanks. This one's rough. I'm glad this one's the first one and we can wash that out with some other ones.
The whiskeys are selected at random, so there is no there's no meta that I can subconsciously kind of categorize things. So I try to do that to keep it as fair and unfair at the same time as possible. So Ryan, what are you getting? I think you're studying the list over there. I think that's what you're doing.
Yeah, can you tell? No, like this did not smell proofy at all, but I'm getting a lot of proof on the palate. So yeah, this one is definitely throwing me. Yeah, like some orchard fruits, very malty, just overall.
Very malty.
Dan, I was being sarcastic when I said I didn't know what you were talking about, and you are correct.
Band-Aid juice.
Yeah. Got a little malt funk to it.
You know, it's funny. I do these for this season. I do these 2 nights a week for round one to kind of get through round one faster. And I noticed that Wednesday night always has more people watching than Thursday night. Always. It's kind of weird. I'm wondering if there's something else going on that I don't know about. But the diehards are here. I love all these guys.
I've been having to catch up later because, like you said, it's hard for especially 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With work travel. But when we put this on my calendar, I blocked everything off, like work travel, everything. And I was so glad, no offense to Jeff, but I was so glad that Jeff was out of town for this because he would be too much, in my ear about it or whatever.
Distraction.
A distraction. Yeah. And then he'd be like, hurry up and let's go somewhere, like go out to eat or something. Like, this is great. I sprinkled a little bit of water, a few drops of my limestone water. I don't know if it has any difference or not, but I liked the idea of it.
Water absolutely makes a difference.
Thursday night football is very real because Amazon Prime did no political ads during Thursday night football. So other than like, not even YouTube, like YouTube lives and stuff like this was my escape from political ads. But Thursday night football, red zone on Sunday, like hours of uninterrupted, no political ads. It was beautiful. Now it's all over.
So nice.
Yeah. I was so happy when that ended because every day in the mailbox I was getting cards and it's just like, oh my God.
The text messages every day, it's multiple text messages from all of the political stuff. Just so glad it's over.
I heard a lot of people say that. I was lucky I never got text messages. So that was nice, but I heard a lot of people say that.
They must have known my voting preferences too, because every text was very targeted towards like me or issues or whatever. I'm like, how do these people know about me? I'm on the do not call list, but
yeah. So
I must say a few drops of water actually helped this for me. I agree with Ryan. It drinks like a higher proof, especially like back here, but the water, it helped some of the bitterness back here.
Perfect. Yes. I was having a little warm-up dram, Joe. I was actually drinking some Powers John's Lane, 12-year-old Irish single pot still.
So was I.
Excellent. That's a great whiskey.
From Whiskey Punkard, by the way.
Look, Dan, you are a celebrity today.
I know. Like, what's the chances that it would be all like Whiskey Punkard out today?
It's great. That means I think that's a sign that Dan, you need to be in the next season. That's what I think.
If we can get Dan to show his face online, I'll give somebody $100.
That is what I heard. He doesn't want to
Asked him.
doesn't want to be in front of a camera. We could, you know what? We could really arrange it so that you don't have to be on camera and it's just your voice.
He could be a cat. He could be like, I'm not a
Yeah,
cat. I'm a
yeah,
cat.
we could do something. I'm sure we could figure something out, Dan.
We could superimpose like his whiskey punker thing or something over his face. But I think that'd be fun.
I'm not sucking up to Dan. I'm sucking up to, let me see if I can get that where there's a good background. I'm sucking up to Germ. That's who I'm sucking up to.
There we go. So full disclosure here, Ryan is a member of my local whiskey group, which is the Northwoods Whiskey Nerds. So that's kind of how we met each other and know each other. So he's sporting the Northwoods Whiskey Nerds glass right now.
Cool.
But there is just wanted to make sure everybody knows that we do know each other. We are fairly close. I mean, a couple hours, 3 hours, maybe roughly.
About 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, 3. Just so that everybody knows. But there is no collusion here. That was for you, Martin.
I'm pretty sure he sent out the list of everything just because I'd been in the whiskey room.
Yeah, well, that is part of it. You had been in there. Marshall sees a lot of the stuff that I buy. So I figured in order to make it even across the board for everybody, the option is there. If you don't want to look at it, that's your choice.
It's overwhelming to look at. You know, it's like
it is.
I could guess all day. I'm probably not going to get it right, but it's a very impressive list.
Marshall, he's on the stand that looking at the list would only make it harder.
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that. Like it would be like, oh, shoot, you know, you would totally second guess yourself. But Joe, that warm up dram was so I could enjoy what we were talking about last night, the Bruichladdich Black Art 8.1, and I'm gonna drain that sample. This sample came from you, Ryan.
I'm ready whenever you are.
I am too.
You are both ready. Excellent. Let us run through the guests. Normally, I start on the left of my sheet, but today, ladies first. Leslie, run them down for me.
Okay. Well, are we starting with the generic stuff first? The category, APV, and the cask?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to say that this is a Scotch. Oh, for the ABV, I'm going to go, I've been thinking about this one. What would that be? I'm trying to do math because I'm thinking proof. You know, you always think proof.
You can say proof.
I can do that too.
Yep,
okay.
Either one.
Yeah, why don't we do like a 107? And the cask, I would say used. Is that one of my choices?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay, so generic category. You said Scottish. What do you have just a category of whiskey? So what are we looking at?
Okay. What are my choices there? Like
okay, so we're looking at
malt.
Yep. So generic categories are bourbon, rye, malt, blended, American, light, wheat, single pot still, grain, blended malt, single malt, corn, blended light.
Let's go with the blended malt. I'm completely shooting out. Y'all know I don't drink Scotch, so this is all just off the cuff.
Absolutely.
And we said 07. We said used cask. Okay.
All right. So then specifics.
Specifics. Okay. So specific category. Already did that one, right?
So you said Scottish earlier. Are you wanting to stay with Scottish blended malt?
Yeah, I want to stay with that.
Yep.
I'm writing it down too, or I will forget. The specific ABV. Why don't we say? I've already finished it, or I would try it one more time. Why don't we say? Let's go 107 exact.
Staying with the 107.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and this was a used cask.
What kind of used cask?
Formerly bourbon
Ex-bourbon.
use tax. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Again, write your age guess down, but don't tell me. And then, do you have a distillery and bottle guess that you want to throw at me?
I'm just gonna throw something out because I have no idea. So
Yep.
there's a lot on this list. So I have no idea where to even start. So I think I'm gonna try. Let's see. Probably try to find something on this thing that matches the year statement that I put down. We'll see. Why don't we do? I should just pick one that you have a lot of, right? No, why don't we do Highland Park? I'm just pulling it
Okay.
out. Okay.
And which bottle?
Oh gosh. Let's do the 12.
Perfect. Okay. And Ryan, shoot him down.
All right. I also went single malt.
Okay.
I went for generic proof. I went 59. Used casking.
Okay.
I went single malt Scotch. Specific proof. I went 60.4. Casking. I went ex-bourbon. And there was some weird sweetness to this. Maybe it came from the bourbon cask, but I went Sauternes as well.
Okay.
I have to be specific with Sauternes. I can't just say wine cask
A
for
bottle
that one,
cask.
right?
Correct.
For distillery, I said Glenlossie, and I went with an SMWS bottling.
Okay. Guys, go ahead, get into sample.
That one's different.
For sure.
I don't know if I've ever had something like this.
This is the smell is so different.
This is rather lovely, Ryan, by the way.
Yeah, if you weren't opening that tonight, I was going to say we need to open that on a live stream, and I would drink one with you.
The taste is just as unique as the smell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. I like it.
I was like, it's giving me like rye vibes, but I'm like, there's no way a rye is this
I
light.
thought the same thing. I thought the same thing.
Very
It's
grassy and
it can just be rye.
kind of like that piney eucalyptus kind of smell.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Super fresh finish too.
Thank you, buddy. Also, moderators, did you drop links to the Bourbon Heart and Whiskey Deke in here?
I saw it pretty close to the beginning. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay. There's the link for the Bourbon Heart. Please follow.
Thank you.
You guys, do you do a YouTube channel or just Instagram?
Nope, this is us. This is all we do.
Just Instagram. Okay, perfect. I just don't want to miss. I don't want to miss a link if you have more than one.
No, this is all I could talk Jeff into.
Okay, perfect.
This is as much as he would do. I don't know if we would have time for anything else. And there's so many YouTubes out there and podcasts out there and stuff like that. Wow, I don't even know where to start with this. I'm glad that Ryan's going first. Haha. This is so unique. Like it's a pine needles in a glass, but in a good way.
And while you guys are tasting that, I'm going to. What do I got to do here? I got to figure out what I was doing. I remember what I have to do. This.
I don't think there was anything on the list that was gin cask finish.
That's exactly what it smells like, though, doesn't it?
Just a small word from our sponsor, or a sponsor. Okay.
This is why blinds are so cool, because I probably never would order this or choose this if I'm at a bar or at the store, but like get to know what you really like. Those dick pics.
So the main sponsor of the show is Richard's Liquors, and obviously when he does a store pick, he had to take the opportunity to call it a dick pic. I mean, it's way too good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but he does pick some of the best stuff. I mean, obviously there's things that other people are picking that are really, really good. But when he picks something, it is a really, really good example of what they are. And they're just fantastic.
There's something to be said about barrel picks, because a lot of times, I don't know, especially around here, they go in at these stores and the hotter the better, and all they want to do is like burn your palate out, and they brag about the proof. Oh, it's it's almost hazmat. Yeah, but I can't taste anything. There's something to be said for good barrel picks. People that go in and they know what they're looking for, and they know what others are going to like and drink. And they're not trying to wow somebody with a proof, but they're saying, you know what, I'm going to pick this for this store. I'm going to, and everybody's going to enjoy this, not just these people that want to be blown out of their, taste buds.
That is one of the things. So I've gone on one barrel pick, and you have to go into it with, I can't just pick something that I enjoy because I enjoy it. I got to pick something that lots of people are going to enjoy because you want to sell it. That's the point. You want everybody to buy it and enjoy it. So you also have to go into it not expecting to pick one. So like if you don't like anything, walk away. Don't just pick one to pick one.
I love that. Because a lot of times, especially, like a local store will get to go to Kentucky, and they'll go somewhere and they'll say, well, it was between these and none of them were good, so we just picked the best of the worst. Well, nobody's going to buy that at the store, so that's just
right
on their barrels.
Yeah. You're not doing yourself any justice. You're not doing the store any justice, and you're not doing the distillery any justice.
No, and
the only thing you've done is take something that they didn't want to deal with anymore.
Yeah, and put your name on it, that
Right.
was your pick. So then
Yeah.
that's your palates are backing that idea up. So, you go to a store and you try some of their picks and all of them blow you out and you're like, who's doing your bell picks? Because they are not thinking about your customers. Customers
right.
want to taste their bourbon or their whatever, their whiskey.
All right. Any more different notes on this? Or are you guys still in the pine forest?
Oh, I should probably add some water.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I get like breakfast cereal too. I always go. Think about what I could eat this with. Just put this with some cereal in the morning.
Just instead of milk?
I don't drink milk, so yeah.
That's perfect. That is perfect.
Oh, so a story about the barrel pick stuff. So I had a friend, and she went and did a barrel pick with a group for their local liquor store, and it was these guys were leading it, and she's just kind of like there. The store had invited her, so it was for Pinhook. She found her pick, and she was like, "This is the best one." They picked one that was a crazy high proof, and she brought me like a little sample of both her pick and their pick. So her pick was good. Still burned and stuff. It was still like way too ethanol alcohol, for a bell pick. But the one that they chose, I couldn't even drink it. Like it was the big size bottle or what. I couldn't even drink it. It just killed me. All it did was kill my palate for everything else because it was so hot. But it was like they really did have to choose, or they chose the worst of the worst. But even hers was not good. What they had to choose from was just not good.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And
I would never want to be the person to say, I would not want to choose any of these, but someone in the group has to say to the, at the distillery, look, we're not going to.
There's ways to say it where you're not offending anybody. And even still, you can say it in the nicest way possible, least offensive. And the person who made it or is got money behind it is going to get offended by it. And unfortunately, it's just the way it is. You just have to, it's part of it. You got to deal with it.
What the hell did you give us over here?
I have moved on to the Fiddler Weeded from ASW. Ooh. Thank you, Adrian. Really appreciate that.
ASW is doing some really cool stuff. And, I'm an ATL girl from Atlanta, so I love that all of these distilleries like them and like Short Barrel, they're doing really cool things with their whiskey in Atlanta.
Yes. ASW does some really neat stuff.
Yeah. I like them because they Heartwood for a friend. We were in Atlanta and I found the bottle and we took it over and opened it up for some dinner, and it was really, I've had some hit or miss with the Fiddlers, right? It was really good. The Georgia Heartwood blend. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever that expression is.
This is actually my first Fiddler. And I do have a tendency to lean towards weeded bourbons. I like them. So this one spoke to me pretty good. I do have some ASW single malts in here, and I've had those for a while, and those are definitely interesting.
I'm going to stop guessing myself. I'm ready to go.
Ryan is ready whenever you are, Leslie.
Well, I'm just going to go for it too because I'm so out of my league over here.
All right. I'm gonna say it's a rye. Like, I'm looking at the color, and even on first smell, I thought it was malt, but man, that more and more I drank it, I'm just gonna go with my gut and say rye.
Leslie, you are ready? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that's what she said.
I am. Yeah.
I must have missed it.
I'm going to go with. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
57.5 for generic. I'm going to say new oak. I'm just going to say it's a straight rye. Specific proof, I'm going to go with 58.1. Stick with the decimals. Because I think based on what I'm thinking this is, I think it's a single barrel or something like that. I will stick with obviously new oak. And then for a bottle, I'm going to say it's a Willet 4-year.
Okay, so Willet, and then 4-year family. Was it family?
So you got my super secret age guess.
Yes.
like my first round's age guess.
Okay, Leslie, run them down.
Okay. I am also going to say that this is a rye. And I am going to say that the proof, because I'm bad at doing the math for the ABV. I'm just going to give up on that.
All good.
I'm going to say that the proof it's not bad. Let's do 105 for that. And the cask is a bourbon cask.
New, used, or both?
New.
Okay. Specific category.
All right. Specific category is just going to be rye. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The specific ABV or proof, and I'll do a decimal too, just to be like Ryan, right? I'll do 105.8. How's that?
Perfect.
And for the cask, I'm going to say that this was new.
New oak. Okay.
Okay.
And then distillery bottle.
Distillery and bottle, who knows? I never would have gotten Willet out of there. I'm gonna say, Ryan, I've never met a Willet that I liked, and I liked that. So if this is a Willet, I'm gonna have to like reconsider life, because just looking at Germ's face over there. All right. So there's a lot of ryes for me to choose from, and this was very unique. So I feel like this has to be like some sort of single barrel something. So why don't we do? Oh gosh, this is going to be hard. Why don't we do a Great Northern?
And which bottle?
Which bottle? Oh man. Let's do something cool. I don't know. You know, I'm just making all this up right now. So let's do batch 23. Why not?
23. Excellent.
I really wish that sample was last.
Me too. This other one looks like water. When I got them in the mail, I put them on the table and it was like broad daylight. And, 1 and 3 were almost clear. And I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble. You see all this bourbon, right? You see all of this bourbon.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 bottles of scotch, maybe 1 American single malt. I mean, very, very focused in on that one category. I need to change it up.
Patty, are you saying you're
with
drinking
what?
apple cider vinegar?
With what? That's some health thing, right?
No, she's saying she's just having an apple cider. I'm not sure. Dan? That's a very good guess.
I was almost thinking Whistle Pig, but it wasn't on the list, so.
Trying to think what is known pine needles. Yeah.
Okay, so now that your guesses are in for sample 2, I'm not going to say a lot about it, but I am going to say, as you guys were starting that, you were very, very hard testing my poker face. So, just saying. But now we can move on to sample number 3.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it?
Taste it.
And then you had said later on that you were trying to look at my face to see if I could give anything away. The chat will tell you that I have a very good poker face.
I don't. So if I think it, I usually say it, and if I don't say it, the face says it. So I'm what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG. There's not much. Oh. Here we go again. Get this back out here. Oh, Lord help us. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
And then going from 2 high proofers plus something that tasted like pine needles to
Water.
yeah, pretty much.
Wow, Joe.
It's Blanton's Gold. So my store, my local store, just did a pick. They did Buffalo Trace, Blanton's Gold, and a Weller Foolproof. And the Blanton's Gold just came out. And you know, for Blanton's, I'm saying they did a great barrel pick. That's an example of people that went in and they were like, we know what we like, we know what our people like. It's a really good barrel pick for Blanton's.
I didn't know you could do a Blanton's Gold pick.
Yeah, and it comes in the little bag, the box with the little bag and everything, and it just has the sticker like all the barrel picks do, but it's hanging around its neck.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Patty, that is definitely one of my tricks.
I've noticed that too, Patty. Okay, I'm going in.
If it's getting too hard, I have to duck down so I can collect my thoughts and fix my face so that it doesn't give anything away.
I watched the episode with Andrew, with Average Whiskey Drinker, Andrew, and Whiskey Library, right? Bourbon Library.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I watched that the first one, and it was they were going at it pretty good, and I was trying to watch your face, and you were so straight about it when they were guessing these different things. I'm gonna go ahead.
Sometimes the comments make me break, especially with this crew. Yes, I physically try really hard to not have much going on here while you guys are making little guesses and talking about things, because I don't want to give anything away or make it look like I'm giving anything away.
Yeah.
Top Shelf Dustin, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. Hope you're doing good. You're almost in time for the reveal if you stick around. I see. I take one day off and I forget things. On sample 3, I forgot to change the little guy up on top.
Well, that's why you shouldn't take. If you're taking one day off drinking, that's a problem. Just don't do that. Jeff keeps telling me that it's okay to take one day off. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I actually take quite a few days off most of the time. Now, during the show, I will have a few, but not very much. But most of the time during the week, I don't drink at all.
I'm set right now on bottle kill mode, and he's building shelves as fast as he can, and we got to do something. So November is the month that I'm only buying 1 bottle a week, if that, and everything else is bottle kills. I go to my local store every Friday morning and share bottles, and we drink bourbon at 9 a.m. and we share bottles. Usually I don't even buy anything. I just come back home and go to work. And
Hey.
Before this started, I actually got the bottle. I have 3 bottles in the downstairs for what we're going to drink tomorrow morning.
Thank you, Joe. If I could go somewhere and drink bourbon with people before I go to work, work would be so much better.
Yeah. They open at 9. I get there at like 8:59. So I'm the first person in, and I go behind the counter with them, and we'll just every barrel pick that they do, you can try before you buy. So all of that's out there, but they'll bring stuff out, from the back room, and I'll bring stuff that they can't try. A lot of barrel picks are things that people send me that we just can't get around here. Like tomorrow I'm going with the JT Mellick, a 9-year Lucky 7. And I think there's one more bottle that I put out. Just the things that we can't try here or can't buy around here.
That's awesome. That's what it's about. Helping people try things that they either can't get or maybe wouldn't try or whatever the case may be. But
it's the best part of this whole community is just sharing and talking about it. And
yep.
If I get a bottle of something, I'll always open it and share it. The UPS man picked up 6 packages from my front porch yesterday.
That's awesome.
I just think, well, I mean, I get all these little things and, why not share the love?
Absolutely. That's what it is about.
It just makes for a great conversation. I don't know. This community is the best, though, because there's no negativity. It's really nice. Unless it's against Good Times or something, there's really no negativity in the whole community.
And not JJ from Good Times. We're talking about Good Times, the bottle, yeah.
9 a.m. bourbon sets the whole tone of the day, y'all. It really does. If Friday 9 a.m., I'm at my Bluegrass liquor store, waiting in the parking lot just to drink.
I mean, that's awesome. So my work would frown on me coming in after drinking because I have to drive cars and stuff.
Oh yeah, you can't. Well, mine can't smell anything on me. I'm on the computer, right? So I'm just online, so they don't know. Now, Jeff is usually the one that a lot of times we'll go do that, and then he'll go on to work. So he works for this company that is delivering your packages all the time, the things that you order, this frequent app that everyone uses all over the place in the world. So we'll do that, and then he'll go into one of the sites. So it's like the Sports Center or something at Amazon, and he'll work. But it's just a few, we have the little tinies,
Yeah,
we gotta work.
Obviously, you have to be smart about it.
Yeah. But it's the best way to kind of go and have that relationship with our store and talk about that stuff and see what's coming up and, all of the picks and things that are to come, and share the things.
Ryan, what are you thinking about this one?
It's definitely got some more malt funk on it. I'm thrown because I tend to stray. I know you love the Barnyard Floor, super malt funky stuff, and it's not usually my jam.
This one had to have water to even be palatable for me. Every time I was taking a sip, I was covering my mouth. It was horrible. The water has absolutely helped it.
Perfect.
Good
evening, Donald.
Water in this one.
Thank you for tuning in again.
I think it's hilarious. In the pre-show, I was talking to Jeremy about nobody adds water to theirs or even drinks water between samples, and then of course,
yes.
That's awesome, because I've thought this to myself throughout every show of both seasons so far, that nobody takes a drink of water in between the samples, or not nobody, but it's very seldom that I see that. And then nobody drops water in the whiskey itself when they're trying to figure out what it is. And that to me is that's a thing to do to kind of break things down, and it'll help decipher proof or whiskey spice or barrel spice or any of that kind of stuff. And
I totally agree.
So did you do that during the exhibition, Jeremy? Were you dropping water in yours? Okay. Did not see that on camera, so.
No, I probably did it off camera.
I get hell for adding water to my whiskey from Jeff. I get hell for this, but I'll drink it first, and then I'll put this in there, and the crazy notes that you get, the way it opens up. He can say whatever he wants. That's the way I prefer it. I drink it neat, but yeah, I'm gonna put a few drops in there.
That's absolutely, it's your choice, your whiskey, your glass. You drink it how you want. Ryan, so yeah, I keep a little dropper here, and I just dip it into my water bottle and drop a couple in. So it was probably off camera because my glass sitting here, and yeah. So
I'm afraid of this one.
It can't hurt you. It's only whiskey.
Well, the proof isn't going to hurt me. My choices are going to hurt me because I don't know anything about this stuff. So, but no, the proof's not hurting me. In fact, I welcome higher proofs. I like higher proofs. Heck, what we usually do is just line things up every night and just go up by proof, and then we'll get a wild hair and then do it again. So, yeah, I like to start low and in, 120s, high 120s, maybe 130. As long as you're warming it up.
Yep. Yeah, and dusted for sure.
Drink it how you want.
And sometimes it gets worse with water. Maybe it does. Maybe it gets worse with water, and it's better as it is. But you won't know that until you try it.
Sir Richard Patterson says that adding water is like the go-to thing to do, right? He's like, every whiskey should have. Well, I don't agree with that because, like you said, some of these whiskeys are kind of watery enough. Like they don't need a lot of water. They don't maybe one or two drops, but some of these high proofs could definitely stand for a little bit of water to open up those notes and not just have that hard hit.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct, Dustin. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is it's exploration. You got a bottle of it. You can have 25 ounces of whiskey out of it. So 25 different drinks. At some point in time, try it with a little bit of water. Try it with a little bit more water. Try it with a little bit less water. You're going to find a place where it's either it's the best as it is. It's really good with 2 drops. It's really good with a milliliter of water. It's, whatever the case may be, you're going to find that. And then maybe the next time you have it, maybe it's better without water that time.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 days from now, it's better with water. Who knows?
Well, I'm completely convinced what you eat and what you drink and like what you're doing before you drink whiskey completely influences. When I eat Mexican food, the higher the proof, like the more like I'm just going to drink it, but I'm not going to be able to taste it anymore. Right. I'm eating Mexican food with jalapenos, and I love Mexican food and bourbon, but it gets to a certain proof point. It's the same.
Yeah.
So you have to, there's something to be said for that too. But I like that what you said about is how you like to do it. It's how you like to drink it. It's how you like to, it's your tasting notes. And I've learned that. And starting out, when I married Jeff, he was already a bourbon guy. And I was rum and Coke, Captain Morgan and Coke. That was it for me. And so I just started buying him bottles and figuring out things that I liked. Oh, I like this. And so certain ones, Woodford was really easy to get into at the beginning. And now I don't even want to smell or look at a Woodford. But it was a nice transition to whatever is now. But I feel like that's kind of the journey. Like you have to start somewhere, and then you grow from there, and you know what you like, you know what you don't. And you kind of teeter towards one of those things, and it's all trial and error.
Oh, Jeremy, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
At least I can.
No, I can't either. I'm glad you said that, Ryan. I thought something happened with my phone.
Well, this makes for great live YouTube.
I know, right? Oh, wait, try to talk to us again because I feel like, you're muted. Okay,
He's muted now, yeah. But he wasn't before when we couldn't hear him.
This is too funky monkey for me, Ryan. Too funky monkey. I have like one more year of like palate refining before I can appreciate.
How's that?
There we
Perfect.
go.
We can hear you.
I bumped my mic when I reached over and got my glass, and it hit the cord. And apparently I gotta change the cord on this thing because it's a little temperamental.
So I see behind you a lot of whiskey bottles. Is that just like a fraction of your whiskey? Because of all of the pages that I printed, it was like 9 pages of whiskey.
So it's 11 feet wide of cabinet, and so the section you see right here, there's 3 of those, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves tall. So there's 3 of those wide. And then I have another cabinet over here that's dedicated to just Lost Lantern bottles.
Wow. Yeah, you have a ton of Lost Lantern.
Yes.
You have a ton of that. That is so cool. Like, you can probably see the angles of this roof behind me. Like, we're not able to do anything floor to ceiling here because of the angles of this room, the way that it goes up. So we had a horrible tornado about a year ago that came through Nashville, and it hit us. It hit us really bad. And this barn behind us in this horse field, we have like a horse pasture. It's not ours, but it's behind our house. It tore the whole thing, and all of this wood was scattered around our neighborhood. And Jeff just went and collected it and started making these shelves like you see here,
perfect.
out of all of that stuff. But we're running out of space. So I love that. You have like floor to ceiling, you have multiple shelves. I love that.
You were talking earlier about trying to finish more whiskey because you're running out of shelf space. There's no shame in floor whiskey.
There is.
I have floor whiskey. I call it the kill zone, though. That's the kill zone. And I put it like a bowling alley. So whatever's the first one is the one where.
I like that. All right. Are you guys ready to run down sample number 3?
No, but yes.
No, but yes. I like that answer. Ryan, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. And then Leslie, just let me know when you are actually ready.
Ready.
Okay. Because we are going to start with you on this one.
I know. Okay. I'm again going to say that this is a Scotch.
Okay. So what type of Scotch?
Okay. I'm going to say that this is a single malt.
Okay. ABV or proof?
I'm going to say that it is 84 with used cask.
Okay. And then specifics, I'm assuming.
Specific. I'm going to say this is a Scottish single malt.
Single malt. Okay.
I am going to say that this specific is 83.5. How's that? I'm not good at these little decimals, but I like the decimal idea too, Ryan. And this is a used cask. This is a former bourbon used cask.
Okay. Do you have a distillery and bottle guess?
Absolutely not. I'm just going to look through your list and do like the random thing that I've been doing. Okay. So, why don't we say whatever the lightest and most water-like bourbon on the list. That's that whiskey on the list. All right. So let's just go with, I don't even know because I don't know any of these companies. So why don't we do, I'm going to mispronounce this, but I want to say it the way I want to. Lamp Frog.
Lamp Frog. I'm thinking that is Lafroig.
Yes, but I want to say Lamp Frog. Okay.
That's fine. You can actually a lot of people call it frog. The frog.
Okay, I actually wrote it down. Lamp. That's all right. The bottle of it. Oh gosh, who knows? Let's go with the the one that's the least old. Maybe that. Oh gosh. Why don't we go with the 10? I don't know.
Okay.
And I guess I just gave away the age.
That's all right. Ryan, go ahead.
All right. I'm also going to do single malt. I'm going to say 45 ABV, used casking, single malt Scotch as well. Specific ABV, I'll go 46. I'm going to say bourbon and sherry. Some of those ones are tough when they blend just like the tiniest bit of sherry into that blend. It can really throw you. And then I'm going to say, you'll probably be surprised I've never actually had this bottle. I'm going to go with the Craig LFD 13.
Craig 13. Got it.
But it's just the malt funk and knowing what I've heard about that brand, I'll go with that guess.
I trust it.
Okay. Now the question I always ask before the reveal: do you guys have a sample that is your favorite? Which sample of of the three is your favorite of the three? Sample number 2 for Leslie.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 1.
1 for you. Okay, so we are going to start then on sample number 3.
Okay.
Reason I do that, if you guys both agree on the same sample, then I'll start with that one because that's fun. But so since you both agree on 2 other ones, I picked the one that you didn't pick.
Okay.
Okay, so I will start out this way. The score for sample number 3 is 5-4. So both of you guys were pretty darn close to each other.
Nice.
You both said single malt as a generic category. Yes, it is a single malt, so you both got a point. Generic ABV. Ryan, you said 45%. Leslie, you said 84 proof. You both get a point. Ryan, you are at the mark of 2% higher, so it's 43%. Leslie, the proof is 86, so you are 2 points low. So
Yeah.
you both get a point there. Generic casking, you both said used. You both take a point. Scottish single malt, you both said. You both get a point there for specific category.
Nice.
Ryan, you went up to 46%. Leslie, you went to 83.5 proof. So Ryan, you went up a little higher. Leslie, you went down a little lower. So no points on that one. Specific casking. Leslie, you said ex-bourbon. Ryan, you said ex-bourbon and sherry. It is actually ex-bourbon and sherry. Minor sherry. So I would also guess ex-bourbon only on this whiskey. So don't feel too bad, Leslie, because that is an excellent guess. Distillery for both of you. Craigellachie for Ryan, Lafroig for Leslie. Bottles, Craig 13 and Lafroig 10, respectively. The bottle actually is a knock 12. There we go. There's the 12 year. So this is a Highland 12-year-old Scotch from the Knockdhu Distillery, actually is the name of the distillery.
Okay.
And the bottle an Knock 12. So excellent guesses all the way down from both of you. With a score,
I would not
what did I
have
say?
guessed a 12-year though for that. That was what about you, Ryan? What was your year?
I guess a 13 years, so I felt it was 12 to 12,
10,
like 10 to 12 years is pretty common with single malt Scotch as far as the kind of the starting point for core ranges.
Okay. Things I don't know because I'm not a Scotch girl. I'm learning though. Like, please don't not invite me back because I suck on this round. Because Germ, I will just get better. I promise.
Hey, first of all, nobody sucks.
No, I mean on the whole, as a whole, though,
this
I
is
probably
difficult.
will lose bad, but I don't even
4
care.
points. You've scored more than some people have in 3 samples, so don't
That's
feel
right.
bad.
You got 4 points on 1 sample. There is people that ended with 4 points on the 3 samples. So I mean,
Okay.
Nobody sucks at this. This is really difficult.
This is so much fun, though. I don't feel like this
that's where it's
fun.
at. That's what I like to see. Okay, so we'll just count it backwards. We're gonna go to sample number 2.
Okay.
Ryan, you said rye. Leslie, you said rye. You both get a point. It is a rye. Ryan, you said your generic proof or ABV 57.5. Leslie, you said 105. So Ryan, the ABV is 56.5. So you do get a point there, which means the proof is 113. Leslie, so you're a little bit low on that one.
No, I could not even taste that at 113. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, generic casking. You both said new. It is not an American rye whiskey. It is used cask only. So no points on that one for you guys. Specific category. Ryan, you said straight rye. Leslie, you said rye, which I'm assuming we assume as straight rye as well.
Sure.
No points there. Ryan, you said 58.1, so you went up a little bit there. So no points there. Leslie, you said 105.8. Again, we're a little low. So no points there. You both still said New Oak. So no points there. Ryan, you said Willet 4-year family estate. Leslie, you said Great Northern Batch 23.
And then I will die if that's Willet.
It is a fantastic guess, Leslie. I love that whiskey, and it is a little piney. Not quite as piney as this one, but this is the infamous Treaty Oak Red-Handed Rye.
That's Dripping Springs?
Treaty Oak Distilling from Dripping Springs, Texas. So they
have like a vodka that my cousins that live in Utah make me go and bring to them. Dripping Springs is legit.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Okay.
So this is the red-handed bottles from them. Oh, this is the one that I meant to show you, not the back side. That side. How's that? That's better.
Okay.
They sourced a 10-year-old Alberta whiskey, rye whiskey. Then they finished it in Waterloo gin barrels. So it is
that's where we got the pine and the juniper and everything, Ryan.
You were both, you both called that whiskey 100% perfectly in the beginning. And when it came down to the actual guessing, you were just, you didn't think it was possible. So it went by the wayside, but you both had that whiskey nailed. And I'm just saying, I don't care how this points thing works out on this sample. You had that nailed. So, kudos to you for calling that out, what you were tasting.
It was a good one. I liked it.
So that one netted Ryan with 2 points, Leslie with 1 point on that one. So over the 2 samples so far, we are at 7-5.
Okay.
Moving on to the last one, sample number 1. Ryan, you said single malt. Leslie, you said blended malt. Ryan, it is a single malt. So there's a point there for Ryan. By the way, before I even finish this reveal, Ryan, I have to give you a massive congratulations on this one. This was huge. This was huge for you.
His poker face was so good.
Yeah. I struggled with the poker face on this one because you nailed this whiskey.
Yes.
So generic ABV. Ryan, you said 59%. Leslie, you said 107 proof. It is actually at 57.5%. So Ryan, you take a point there. The proof would have been 115. No. Generic casking, you both said used, so you both take a point there. Specific category, Scottish single malt for Ryan, Scottish blended malt for Leslie. Ryan, you do get a point on that. It is a Scottish single malt. Ryan, your ABV went up to 60.4. Leslie, you stayed with the 107. We are at 57.5 or 115 proof. Ryan, you said ex-bourbon and sauternes. Leslie, you said ex-bourbon only. Actually, Leslie, you took a point there. It is ex-bourbon only. No sauternes finish.
I don't know what sauternes is, Ryan.
It's Germ's favorite finish. That's why
it is one of my favorite finishes. Yes, it's a French dessert.
I think it is your favorite. Come on.
Exact Distillery. Ryan, you said Glenlossie. Leslie, you said Highland Park. Exact Bottle. Ryan, you said an SMWS bottle. Leslie, you said the 12-year Highland Park. Ryan, you freaking nailed it. It's a Glenlossie SMWS.
Wow.
It is,
that is awesome.
SMWS 46109 Table Talk Dram. It was distilled on the 23rd of May, 2012. It is first fill ex-bourbon barrel only, and it is 8 years old.
I saw the name of that. The name of that bottle, was it Worm Cinders?
Worm Cinders, yes.
Yeah, I'm like, I could. Part of me was like, it's a worm tub distillery, or maybe that's just the name of the thing. But yeah, it was malty, it was funky. Like, my age guess was way off because I had no idea what age that bottle was. But
what was your age guess?
Crap.
Yeah, what was your age guess on that, by the way?
I guess 13. I was thinking like 11 to 13.
But... I did 12. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And it's actually 8 years old. So
yeah. Yeah, I did not do as much research as finding like, SMWS flavor profiles and ages of all those bottles.
But that when you said Glenn Lossy, I almost lost it. I was like, what? Like, how do you pull that out of thin air?
That's awesome. That's what it's all about, though. Like, this is so cool. Yeah, this is great.
So Ryan, you ended sample number 1 with a score of 8, which is absolutely huge on a sample.
Would that be Marshall? Can that be Marshall?
That would, that pretty much that would have beaten Marshall. Marshall does good. Yeah, I don't know. So overall score, maybe. So the overall score ended up at 15-7. 15 is the highest I've seen.
Wow.
Congratulations, that's freaking awesome.
Headshot a bottle, that's 4 points right there. So
that's what it is.
That's unbelievable.
Thing.
Somebody's headshot a bottle before though, haven't they? Or at least some distillery?
Yeah, somebody pulled 10 points off one sample.
Okay.
Which is the max. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got all the first 6 categories and then the 4 points on the thing. It just so happened that they had just killed that bottle and I had no idea.
I remember
and
that,
they just remember, that was a weird scenario. But first of all, to land a distillery, huge. To land the distillery and the bottle, even bigger. So that's fantastic.
Perfection.
Ryan,
like amazing. Yeah.
Super congratulations
yes.
to on that.
And now I've had a Glen Lossy. What do you who knew?
Yeah, there you go. And
He's
Leslie,
been drinking it all day. I should know.
I know that you are a very bourbon-centric whiskey drinker, and I commend you for branching out and trying this and knowing getting into it that there was very big possibilities that you weren't going to be getting just bourbon.
Of course.
So I applaud you for that. That's
my mom
fantastic.
is a Scotch lady. So my mom loves Scotch and she's a neat Scotch drinker my whole life. So I've been around it. I can't stand it. I don't like the smell of her breath or anything around, like all of it. But because of this, I've been branching out and I've been trying different things and I've been like doing the water and it's really expanded my horizons just for this little competition, which I don't feel like it was a competition. I think this was so much fun. And no, Ryan deserved all of this. He literally chose the distillery and the bottle. I mean, come on, this is freaking awesome. I love it.
That just floors me absolutely. And, and I do make a generic for guessing the bottle on those indies because to nail which one it is weird. But
I'm just glad I actually got Scotch, which is my wheelhouse, and not ASM because I know that odds are I was going to get an ASM, and they were both Scotches, and I'm like, yeah.
I thought the same thing. I was like, looking at Germ's collection, I was like, we're definitely going to get an ASM and probably some sort of Irish or a Scotch. And then we get our samples and everything is very, very light colored. And I'm thinking to myself, like, none of these are bourbons. I can look at it and I can shake it up and look at it and know that none of these are bourbons. So I'm going to have to do my homework. And it has been so much fun branching out and just trying this new stuff and liking it, not liking it, whatever.
So out of those two, not the rye, Leslie.
Yeah.
Did you like either one of those two?
Like, I would say number
would you drink
one,
it again?
Yeah, number one was once I added water, they opened, and 1 was better than 3. 3 is a no. I mean, I'll say 3 was socks. Like eating socks to me is like dirty feet. Like that finish of like, I need something to. There's something with Scotch to me that's the finish sometimes is like not good, and that was number 3. Number 1 was that at the beginning, but the water completely changed that.
Okay. So, and the reason I ask is because if you are interested in trying those, I can, kind of, with the profile of that whiskey, kind of maybe pick a few other ones that might be similar but slightly different that may not give you that bad aftertaste or whatever, and get them out to you and see if there are any things that you like and play with that.
I would love that, but only if you let me return the favor with bourbons that I love that you.
I rarely turn down free whiskey. If it's good times,
as long as you drink it, okay. I don't want just a bunch of samples on your shelf. I want you to try this stuff because it's damn good.
I do try. I did kill one
I
tonight.
have a lot, and hey,
Yeah.
Ryan, for you too. I have a lot from Kentucky Bourbon Fest, like
Oh,
barrel picks that were done just for that. There are some of the best that I've ever had. There is a Maker's Mark. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna just share it all away. There's a Maker's Mark that these expressions are so crazy that I have to share it because it's so unique to Kentucky Bourbon Fest, and
okay.
I love to do that. So yeah, let me share too.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I will never turn down free whiskey. That's just the silliness if you ever do that.
Well, it did take him a year and 3 months to get to that black art, so you just know he might not drink it right away.
So I have the bottom of this cabinet is a cabinet, and there is well over 200 samples in there right now that I have.
Do you see the samples on that little table over there right now? Those are all samples on both sets, the top and the bottom. And there's actually 2 bottles that Keeper's Heart has sent too that I haven't even cracked. So
Nice.
I feel you. I feel that.
Yeah.
But you know what I do? I travel with those. And so every time I travel, I'll get 2 or 3 and I take them on the road with me. And I'll either drink them in the hotel room or what I did last time I was in Texas, I did a bourbon tasting for my colleagues. And I just did a whole slew of like different bourbons on the table and like explained them and did a whole bourbon tasting at the hotel with my sample.
That's a great idea, actually. If you travel, take them with you. Jeff, I unfortunately will never do a bourbon only or exclude single malts from it. This is the premise of this whole thing is to go across as many categories of whiskey as I have and can get a hold of. So, but if you want to play, you are definitely you definitely let me know if you want to come in on the next round or on the next season. Glenn Lossy. Donald, yeah, I don't think Glenn Lossy did. Okay, so my first question is, does Glenn Lossy even bottle anything as an OB, or are they just literally a blending beast?
I've never seen him.
But where we're at doesn't matter. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Yes, this also, Donald, is what I was going to say, that Anak is very slightly peated, so that is probably why you didn't like that one.
I didn't get any peat on that, and
I don't either. But you enjoy peat,
yeah.
like
I didn't get any peat. Yeah, and I was worried for that, and I didn't.
I just finished a bottle of Anak, and it was definitely noticeably peated. Like it was like lightly compared to some of the other stuff I drink, and but yeah, I didn't get any peat on this particular Anak.
Okay, so we have an answer from Top Shelf. There is an official bottling of Glenn Lossy. It's called Flora and Fauna. But Donald then backs up what I was thinking. It is a blending beast. Diageo uses them to make blended whiskeys.
Yeah, I think I know the bottles that you're talking about. They have a whole line of like all of those Diageo bottles where it's not even like an official like Glenn Lossy bottle. It's like a special bottle that a whole bunch of like the smaller distilleries, they'll put out something specifically from that distillery. Yeah. So yeah, Flora and Fauna.
I see what you're saying, Dustin.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, perfect. So Glenn Lossy isn't something that you're going to find regularly. We'll chalk it up to that. We'll go that route. But it is a whiskey that you can get similarities from other whiskeys to it. And just knowing that you kind of like that one, but there was a couple things you didn't like about it, we can send you some that might be a little bit better suited for you, that kind of go along that way.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, so
Good.
Everybody in the chat, this one's running a little bit longer than normal, but that's all right.
We did the intro before we started drinking, so
yes, that's true. Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining. Dustin, nice to see you. I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but thank you for joining. I appreciate you popping in. Donald, always good to see you.
Patty still in? Because I can't see. Is Patty still in?
Yes, Patty's always
Patty, you are our girl. You are our girl. You got to take it all the way, girl.
There
all
you
the
go.
way. all the way. I got you. You got this. Come on. It's Patty all the way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love the fact that I got I think if I remember the count right, I have seven women in the showdown this time around, and I am super stoked for that because I just love the fact that they can come in and do amazing things in a what essentially is viewed as a male dominant thing.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that there's any one, I guess, any one gender that's better or worse than the other at this. But I will say
But like
this.
you say, it's what you like, right?
That's
It's
right.
What,
I will say this. Women do better on tasting than men do. And that's scientifically because there is something different.
Our palates are
They
crazy.
taste better. They smell better. So it's just how it is. And
My
I'm super stoked to see that they're coming into this.
my family calls me the bloodhound. Can spell whatever a mile away. So like, yeah, I would say like palate wise, smell wise, like yes, women. That was what I was lacking so hard last year. Was like, there's all these men, and then we created Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
There's
like
girls.
talking about Patty. Patty was one of the first females that I followed and found on Instagram. Period. When I started.
I
mean,
will tell you this. I haven't met a better person in this world than Patty.
I want to meet her
That
so
woman
bad.
is
Yeah,
a fantastic
I
person.
meet her. Like whiskey women are few and far between. Even in this, there's a lot of them that are on the. But I would say like we're in it. We're in it. Right. There's a few and far between, and whenever you find them, you got to befriend them, and yeah.
Okay. So I was hoping you guys wouldn't call that out, but yes, I did realize what I said when I said that. So
He meant it in both ways. Okay. I think he meant it in bourbon and life.
Yes. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but anyways, everybody in the chat, thank you for joining, watching, sticking around. You guys are the reason I do this. Ryan, super big congratulations on nailing that distillery and bottle, and congratulations on the win. Leslie, excellent job tonight. I don't want you to take anything away from this other than you had fun.
I want to do
you
this
did
again.
a fantastic job.
I want to do this again, and I need more scotch, right? I need more on the palate so I can do this stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I will say,
so much fun.
do
Thank
not
you.
judge Scotch by as funky and malty as these two were.
I like funky so much. So anything
Or
funky,
different kinds of fun, but yeah.
yeah. I might not be able to tell it because it was so funky monkey, but I like the funky monkey stuff.
Hey, we can find you some funky stuff. That does happen.
Not be a problem.
So, all right, everybody, next week. So let's see. Let's finish this off first. Ryan, you do move on. February 12th is your next showdown. So mark that on your calendar. That will be a Wednesday. It will be 7 p.m. Then next week, what do we got? We have Whiskey and Whitetails against Nate Dogg of BBS Live. That is on November 20th. So looking forward to that. And until the next time, I don't have any freaking whiskey in a glass. I better fix that.
This is a Thomas More port cask at 98.9 from our friend Andrew, the Southern Bourbon Addict.
Oh, Drew. He's on. He was supposed to be on yesterday,
He
but
was
he's now on the 19th.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah. He
Yep,
was probably, I think he's the first bourbon person I actually met like in real life when we started our page.
Oh, he's an awesome dude too. I got to meet him a couple weekends ago.
He gave me a bottle of Blue Corn Still Austin that I still haven't opened because I loved it so much when he shared it with me. So he sent me a bottle in the mail, and I'm taking it over to the liquor store, and we're going to open it. That's one of the bottles in the morning that we're going to open is the Blue Corn. Nice. So he's definitely influencing my bourbon palate.
Perfect. Okay, so until next week, Wednesday, everybody, congratulations. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining in the chat and chatting along. And cheers to this American spirit.
Cheers, y'all.